In this video, we're going to make an absolutely insane lightsaber chassis that protects all of the electronics for our saber, fits into a very complicated hilt, and looks absolutely amazing. And I'm going to go over every step of the process, from selecting the parts, to modeling the chassis, to soldering it all together in the real world. Alright, let's go. The first question is, where do we buy the parts for our lightsaber, and what parts do we even need? Well, the heart of any lightsaber is what's called a soundboard, and this little guy is basically a tiny computer that's able to work with whatever you could possibly want in your saber, whether it's a lightsaber crystal, or an OLED screen, or obviously the LEDs that make up the blade. And there are a few different options for this, but I think the best one is the Profi board. This little guy has open source hardware, which means you can buy it in a ton of different places, and open source software, which means that rather than having to write all of the code yourself, you can download code someone else has written, set up a few configurations for your specific use case, and then go ahead and use that. Now, the cheapest place to buy a Profi board is AliExpress, but if you're in the US or anywhere else that's far away from China, it will take a few weeks to arrive. So if you want to get it faster, you can also pick it up from the customsabershop.com, which is where I'll be getting a lot of the other parts for this video. Now, they're often sold with a micro SD card, which often has some sounds preloaded onto it, and that's how I bought mine. But if yours doesn't come with a micro SD card, then you will need to pick one up. And of course, I'll have links to all of the items in the description. AliExpress is also the cheapest place to buy the hilt itself. So while I'm here, I'm going to pick up this awesome Fallen Order lightsaber hilt. Now, the soundboard is great, but it can't actually make any sounds. So to actually make the sound, we're going to need a speaker. And there are a few options, but I'm going to pick this little 24mm speaker because it's the biggest one that I think I can fit inside my hilt. Of course, we'll also need to power our lightsaber, so you're going to want to get an 18650 battery and a holder for it. And these are rechargeable, so you also want to make sure to get a charger so you can recharge your 18650 battery. We also need 2 buttons. You can get away with 1, but it makes the saber a bit less convenient to use. Now, if you already have some of these, then of course that's perfectly fine, or you can pick them up off of somewhere like Amazon. That'll be the cheapest. The last thing we're going to need is a NeoPixel connector. So if we're connecting to a fancy NeoPixel blade like this, then we need to create a connector with pins that will allow us to connect to those pads on that blade. So we need to buy this NeoPixel V3 hilt side PCB connector with the long pins, and this little adapter that will allow us to keep the PCB in the center of the hilt so it's not jiggling around or anything like that. Now, I'm also going to order one of these lightsaber crystals because I think they look insanely cool. And the way this one works is it's basically just one of the RGB LEDs that we have all the way down our blade, but they've put it in some kind of epoxy resin mold so that it looks like a crystal, and when it lights up, it looks good. Okay, so that's all of the components. But now we need a chassis that will hold all of the components in their correct places and also look amazing. So how do we do that? Well, we have to make it ourselves. Well, I do. I mean, you can just download the file for absolutely free. Now, I'll spare you the full 3.5 hours of me and some helpful members of the community modeling this, and just go ahead and skip straight to the result. Okay, so this here is what we came up with. Now, these 3 pieces here are just marking the inner diameter of the hilt so that we can make sure that everything would actually fit inside of the hilt. So I'm going to go ahead and hide them along with this other marker here, and we can take a look at what the chassis itself with the components in it is going to look like. Now, you can see here the most important part is the Profi board, and it's got this little diagonal slot right here where it can fit with the port and the SD card down here so that we can have easy access to both of them. Now, there's also a slot for the wires to go through up to the top of the hilt where they'll get connected to the blade, and we have the 2 buttons here in positions right beneath where the plungers will be so that we can press both of those buttons once the hilt is assembled. Next, we have the crystal chamber here. You can see we've got a little ring, which is where I plan on sliding in the crystal and gluing it, so it should stay in and be quite structural. We also have this little hole under here, which connects down to this hole right here. So we can get all of the wires from the crystal, from the battery, and from the speaker, and they can all go through that hole and come up here to the Profi board. It's very important if you're making your own chassis to make sure that you have a path for the wires to go from one place to where they need to go. Next, we have this slot here where we have the battery and battery holder that I created a little model for, and you can see down here I've even put a derivation in Arabic, which is the Star Wars language. And if you want to add a feature like that, it's actually quite simple. All you need to do is look up Arabic font download and go ahead and download one of these options here. Then you can open up your favorite 3D modeling software. For example, Blender is mine. Go ahead and delete everything, add a text object, type in whatever text you want. In Blender, you just tab into edit mode and then you can just edit it as normal. So in this case, I'm going to type in derivation. Then we can go ahead and go over to the text panel. We can find font, and we can set the font to that font that we just downloaded. And then we can go to the geometry tab and set it to an extrude, for example, 0.25 meters. Of course, we can go ahead and select it, export it as an STL, and then we can import it into Tinkercad, position it wherever we want it, and go ahead and cut out that little piece. And this is what the chassis looks like fresh off the 3D printer. Now we're going to paint it in just a moment, but before we do that, I want to address a quick issue. Not all of us have a 3D printer, and that's where PCBWay comes in. PCBWay can manufacture anything that you can't for your DIY project, whether it's a 3D print or a PCB or even a CNC'd part. Like, check this out. Have you ever seen a PCB do this? Yeah, they just casually make flexible PCBs along with the typical FR4 PCBs, aluminum PCBs. They can basically make anything. So check out PCBWay.com or use the first link in the description to level up your next project. So how do we get the chassis to look like it belongs inside of our lightsaber? Well, I want to paint it in 2 layers, and I'll start by painting it silver, as I'm imagining that it started out as aluminum or some kind of space metal. Then I want to paint some gold over top of that, as if we were maybe anodizing the aluminum, to make it a nicer color that will complement the hilt more than if they were both silver. But the reason we did the silver first is that a process like anodizing gets worn off as you use something more and more. And since the bottom half of the hilt is blasted off, this chassis has probably seen some pretty good use. So as I paint on the gold, I'm going to use a paper towel to wipe off some of the paint and hopefully give it a little bit of that worn aesthetic. Now, it didn't turn out as dramatic as I might have liked, but you can definitely see the silver showing up through the gold in some places, like where I did on the harsher edges or these little things that stick up. So I would say mission accomplished. But now we need to figure out a way to get all of the electronics into the chassis while making sure that all of our wires go to all of the correct places. So first, let's take a look at a diagram of how our lightsaber should be wired up. Now, I'll link this configurator in the description, but it's actually really convenient. All you have to do is select the parts for your lightsaber. So I have an illuminated PCB, I've got a crystal chamber, I want the blade detect circuitry, I have 2 momentary buttons, no display, no charge port, none of this other stuff. And here we go. The site just generated a wiring diagram for my exact hardware simply by clicking a few buttons and setting a few drop-downs. I definitely recommend you check this out and use this as your wiring diagram. So if you don't have a crystal chamber, you could just remove that and you'll know exactly how to wire it without that added complexity. So with our wiring diagram in hand, let's go ahead and actually solder everything up. Now, to actually make this happen, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by making all of the connections related to the Profi board. So there's 13 wires that I need to solder to this Profi board, and I'm going to solder all of those up to the Profi board before I solder anything else at all. Now, when I cut each wire, I'm going to try to guess how far it needs to go and go ahead and make it that length plus a bit of extra just to be on the safe side. So for example, for the negative battery wire, it needs to go all the way from the Profi board through this slot and out to the end of the hilt. So I'm going to cut it quite long. And I am erring on the side of way too much wire here because I want to make sure that the wires do reach their location, and then I'll just trim them down when we're soldering them to that location. And once we've soldered up all of the wires just to the Profi board, we can route them through the hilt to their proper locations. Now we have all of the wires that are going to the battery and the speaker and the crystal all going through this slot here. And this is quite tight, which one of the community members did warn me about. and I didn't listen. So I had to spend like 20 minutes shoving all of these through that hole. But they did eventually fit, so now we have all of those wires there. We can also slide these wires through the buttonholes, and we can also slide these wires through this slot here, where they'll eventually go and connect to the NeoPixel connector. And now that we have all of our wires going to the correct places, we can solder them up to their specific components. And I do want to solder the crystal before the battery holder, because I think once we put the battery holder in place, it'll be pretty tricky to actually get the wires for the crystal to their correct location. So I'm going to go ahead and tin the pads on the crystal and trim down and tin the wires to make them as short as I can get them while still being able to solder them to the crystal, because we want to avoid having too much wire crammed inside the hilt. It's just going to make it difficult to shove everything in. But once we've got those wires soldered, we can go ahead and slide the crystal in and then apply a ton of glue to hold it in place. Just a lot of glue to make sure that it doesn't go anywhere. Now for the battery holder, these little tabs actually do come out, which is very convenient because then we can tin them and we can tin our wires and we can solder our wires onto them, all without having to worry about melting the plastic of the battery holder. And while we have them out, we can go ahead and cut off these little tabs that stick down and the little tabs on the bottom of the battery holder so that we can put it in and it'll be flush with the chassis. And once we make sure that it fits, we can go ahead and add glue below and glue that battery holder in place. Then we can go ahead and glue the speaker on the end. For all of this, I'm just using standard super glue. I would recommend maybe using gel glue instead of liquid glue because the liquid tends to get everywhere, but either one is fine. And once the speaker is glued in place, we can go ahead and trim down its wires, strip them, and solder them to the speaker. The button wires can also be cut down as short as we can get them while still being able to solder them to the buttons. And to solder them to the buttons, I recommend going ahead and tinning the little legs on the buttons. It just makes it super fast if you have the tinned wire and the tinned button leg to just tap them together without melting the button because it is mostly plastic. And the last thing we need to do is solder up our NeoPixel connector. Now this is a little bit more complicated because the neck of the hilt is very thin, so we can't actually fit the NeoPixel connector through it, which means that we need to put the wires through that neck and have them come out the top, and then we can solder them once they've come out the top onto the connector. But assembling the connector itself is also a few steps. So the first thing we want to do is we want to take all of these tiny little pins and drop them into the connector. And then we want to add a little dot of solder on each one, making sure that you're touching the pin itself and the pad that the pin is going into so that the solder connects to both and will hold them in nice and strong. Now, once we've got all those pins in place, we also want to take a look at our diagram, because it will tell us if any of the pads need to be bridged together. So if I wasn't using the blade detect circuitry, then we would need to bridge these two pads together. But in my case, I am, so there's not really any bridging that needs to be done. Then we can slide the connector into the little spacer. It may be a bit of a tight fit, and then we can go ahead and solder the tinned wires that we have coming out of the top of our hilt to the connector. And again, you want to make sure to trim these wires as short as you can while still being able to actually reach them and solder them on, because you want as little wire to be crammed into the hilt as possible so that everything can fit as close together as possible. But once we've done that soldering, we can go ahead and put the connector down into the hilt, and our chassis is complete. Now, before we can finish the assembly and actually test the lightsaber, which is going to be awesome, we do have to do some setup. We need to configure our Profi board so that it does the right sounds and the right light effects, and I'll show you exactly how to do that in this video right here. So if you want to check that out, definitely do. Otherwise, I'll see you in the test video.